What's up, everyone, and welcome back to the War of Reactions. My name is Wolfie, and today we're going to be taking a look at issue number 10. What is going on right now? Issue number 10 of the IDW Sonic the Hedgehog comic series. Let's take a look. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and cover this issue. We're going to talk about the story, things I liked in it, things I didn't like in it, and then I'm going to give it a score. Kind of like how I did my Sonic Boom reviews. For those of you who are just watching me do comic reviews for the first time, I've got 9 of them, so go ahead and take a look at them, because this is the 10th issue, of course. So, starting this really doesn't have a lot of story in it, and by that I mean there's not a lot of progression in as far as the story is concerned, but that does not mean there is not a lot of action in this one. This one is action-packed. After the promise of the last issue of them leading up to this big battle on Angel Island, boy does this one deliver. This has a ton of great action shots, partly because the artwork was done by, let me check real quick, let me just take a look. Of course, written by Ian Flynn, and the art was by Tracy Yardley and Evan Stanley, hopefully I said that right, with coloring done by Matt Herms and Sean Lee. I love these guys because they always do great artwork. If I could just show you guys a couple of panels here in the book. I mean, I'll probably just have some over there, I guess. But yeah, this starts off where the last one left off, of course, with Sonic and Knuckles encountering Super Neo Metal Sonic, try saying that 5 times fast, at the Shrine of the Master Emerald. As they said, they had originally, when the Resistance got there, they had broken into groups, 3 groups, one group consisting of one person, Blaze, to take on the Egg Fleet, Amy's group, which is every single person, Rouge, Tangle, Whisper, the Chaotix, almost everybody there, taking on the not the ground forces, like most of what are those, egg pawns and everything, the egg pawns and the cannons and everything on top of the Egg Fleet, while Sonic and Knuckles dealt with Neo Metal Sonic at the Shrine. So the fight starts off with Super Neo Metal, god, this is gonna be a rough one to say really fast. I'm just gonna call him Neo Metal Sonic. We know he's super. Neo Metal Sonic confronting and just straight up beating down Sonic and Knuckles. Sonic saying, of course, Knuckles, you go get to the shrine and stop, make it so he can't get the power from the Master Emerald anymore. I'll distract Neo Metal Sonic. Of course, this is a powered up version of Neo Metal Sonic, and he's not having any of it. He kind of just runs through both of them at once, and then just beats them down. It's like multiple pages. And Knuckles is like, I thought you said you were going to distract him. And Sonic's like, yeah, I'm just warming up. Don't worry about it. And it's just like, you can honestly see he is struggling to keep up with Neo Metal Sonic. But I do like that they're keeping up this banter. Like, Neo Metal Sonic is definitely siphoning and he's a lot like Sonic in the fact that he's just constantly crap-talking both of them as he's beating them down. And Sonic, of course, is returning that crap talk with some of his own. It is really funny. The next few panels, we get to see all the characters in action. If you wanted to see all the Resistance, all the characters in the Sonic verse kind of getting some action in, this is the book to get. Tangle is getting a cannon. While she's doing that, Whisper throws out these crystals, and I'm like, what are those crystals for? And all of a sudden, she pulls out her Wispin weapon? Wispin? Whatever it is. And she fires the laser at it, and the laser does along the crystals, makes this path and goes through all the badniks. It was like, oh, that's so sick. That's such a cool utilization of the Wisp and stuff like that. But afterwards, we see that Tails is thinking to himself, he's like, we're not making any headway. We're just destroying all these badniks, these egg pawns, and we're not really making any progress. We need to work smart, not hard. And of course, he gets Amy and everybody to rally behind him and cover him as he goes inside of, I guess, the main headquarters. Then we flash forward to Blaze on the outside, who's dealing with all the ships on the outside, and she's like, yeah, well, while I can't be hurt in this form, I still have a limited time with this form, so I need to make use of this while I still have it. And she gives us big, I don't know what to call it. It's like a Dragon Ball Z fireball, like a mini flaming spirit bomb. She summons in her hand, like Frieza's little finger ray when he does this. You know what I mean? And then she does that and just decimates this huge egg fleet ship, and it's like, wow, this is amazing, this is great. Finally, every character getting some action in. And after that, Blaze is, of course, spent. She's got no more energy left in the tank, so she's kind of put on the sideline for now, while the other characters are left to deal with the rest of the egg fleet. Then we flash back to Mobius? Earth? I still not know where this takes place, where the story, what planet this is. We'll just assume it's Mobius. Eggman / Mr. Tinkerer is doing. He's at Eggman Land, his little theme park he made for the kids at the little village, and he's singing a song while he's playing on the ukulele, and he's singing basically the lyrics for "I Am the Eggman," but he's redone some of the words, so it's not like he's singing the Eggman theme. Just let me just read this real quick. Just follow your dreams wherever you go. You're perfect in every way. I love to construct and make things that go. There's no obstacle that stands in my way. You know, he's singing the Eggman theme, and I love that. I was like, oh, that's a nice, like the writers for this, Ian Flynn and whoever else helped with the writing on this. You could tell it's just a love letter to everybody who just like the adventure, or any games rather, because there's so many references to them in this. But that's quickly interrupted when Rough and Tumble, who I thought had been taken away to jail, maybe they broke out in between. Maybe they're gonna have like a flashback to what happened with those two. But since last we saw them, I think in issue 6 or 5, I forget what issue they showed up in. 4, I want to say. It's the one with Knuckles, that stars mostly Sonic and Knuckles. We haven't seen Rough and Tumble since then, but here they are showing up to basically egg-nap Mr. Tinkerer, and they pick him up, and they say something along the lines of, Dr. Eggman. He's like, no, I'm not Dr. Eggman, I'm Mr. Tinkerer. And then they said, yeah, the doc said you would be off, and I was like, the doc? It must mean, I wonder who the doc is in this case. Could that have been Neo Metal Sonic disguised as Eggman telling them to grab Dr. Tinkerer? Or a lot of questions with that line, but hey, maybe I'm reading too hard into it. Maybe it was something as simple as the doc just said you'd be off. So I think we're about to see the end of Mr. Tinkerer. I think he's about to become Eggman very soon, because that's the little bit of story we get there. And also, just to be an a-hole, if you look closely on that panel, when Rough and Tumble are taking Dr. Tinkerer away, you see, I think, hang on, which one is which? It's the smaller one, and I'm going to put the correction over here. The smaller one rips Dr. Tinkerer's ukulele just as a final FU to him as they're taking him off. I found that great. Those two characters are the scumbags right now. They are the hooligans, Team Hooligan, that we have for now. Until hopefully Team Hooligan eventually shows up in these comics, hopefully sometime soon. But hey, these things take time. They're currently doing their own story arc right now. No need to start inserting characters in at random just because, you know, we want them to show up. I want them to show up when the story calls for them, or when they're needed, or, you know, something to help complement the story, not just have them show up just to show up. But I digress. We're back to the story at hand. We flash back to the Resistance, and Tails has more or less hijacked one of the Egg Fleet ships, and he uses it to attack the other, uses the cannons on that ship to fire upon the other ones, taking out a whole bunch of them at the same time. Then we see the Resistance all kind of breaking up, and they're like, yeah, we did it! Tangle is a spaz, and I love Tangle. Every single panel that she's in, she's just spazzing out, and I love it. Speaking of spaz, whatever happened to that artist? Does he still do stuff for Sonic anymore? Maybe he's been doing the covers. I haven't really paid attention, but yeah, I miss Spaz. He was a great Sonic, the Archie comic artist. I don't know, maybe he still does artwork, maybe not for Sonic anymore, but I digress. Yeah, just Tangle is just energetic. I love her. Whenever she shows up, I'm like, this is gonna be a good time. She saves Vector more or less, and you know, when she shows up, she's like, yeah, we did it. She's just so adorable. Like, let me see if I can get some panels over here of just Tangle. Let's just get some Tangle pictures over here. Just fill the whole space over here with Tangle pictures. I love Tangle and Whisper. I like the characters they introduced to this so far. But back on subject, Amy and Rouge are kind of talking as Rouge is flying Amy back to safety. She's like, Yeah, I guess we really didn't. Amy's like, I guess we really didn't need Shadow because, as you all know, Shadow just kind of went off and vanished, and we haven't seen him up until this point. He just kind of went off on his own, and then Amy's like, I guess we didn't need him, and Rouge is like, I'm gonna talk to him about that. It's not good for him to go off and do his own thing like that when we kind of need him out here. And Amy's like, I wonder where he went to after all. And then Rouge is like, I bet he probably went after the strongest person. When she said that, I was like, haha, I know exactly where this is going. Flashback to Sonic and Knuckles trying to, and the keyword being trying to stop Neo Metal Sonic, and just to no avail. He's too fast, he's just taking them out. Every single time Knuckles gets even slightly close to the shrine, Neo Metal Sonic just like teleports in front of him and just like backhands him away like, nah, you were close though, nice try. And of course, just, you know, we had a bit of foreshadowing with Rouge and Amy's line before about Shadow. Here comes Shadow out of nowhere, and in one page, which I'm probably gonna put over here, in one page, Shadow takes out Neo Metal Sonic, like with a surprise Chaos Spear, a punch, and the spin kick, and it's like Neo Metal Sonic is down, and I was like, holy crap. Shadow's overpowered, but then I thought about it, I was like, hold on, wait a minute. It's not that Shadow is strong, he is strong, but he caught Metal Sonic off guard. He really caught him off guard, and you could do a lot of things you could fight the strongest man in the world, but if you sucker punch him when he's not expecting it, you can knock that fool out. It doesn't matter. So I know there's going to be a lot of discussion about how everybody's like disappointed that Neo Metal Sonic got taken out relatively quickly. I'll say honestly, I'm satisfied with how they went about it, because Neo Metal Sonic did like just run amok and just give Sonic and Knuckles the business, to the point where the first thing he does is he drags Sonic and Knuckles' faces through the ground, and it's like, that looked painful. But yeah, like I was saying before, Shadow showing up and just kind of surprising, catching Neo Metal Sonic off guard. Yeah, he's kind of got knocked out of his super form relatively quickly, and then Sonic's grabbing Shadow like, what are you doing? Stop! Do you not realize what he's capable of? He's gonna get your what's the word he uses? Hang on. Oh, he's gonna get your bio data. And it's like, so he's not gonna be able to transform? And of course, Metal Sonic gets the final data he needed from Shadow. When Shadow attacked him, he got Shadow's data, and that was the last bit of data he needed to achieve his final form. So in a way, him getting knocked out of the super form might have been part of the plan after all, maybe? Or maybe it was just a thing that he was hoping would eventually happen. But Neo Metal Sonic gets into his final form, which is the Overlord form. For those of you who have not played Sonic Heroes, that's the final boss version of Sonic Heroes, or the final boss version of Metal Sonic in Sonic Heroes, I should say. Except it looks like it's much bigger. And yeah, that's kind of our final shot, is that the Master Emerald gets taken away from the shrine. And that means, of course, when the Master Emerald is taken away from the floating island, Angel Island, the island will eventually fall. But our final shot is basically this big spread of Neo Metal Sonic erupting out with these giant angel wings, and it's like one-winged angel, except it's like a two-winged demonic Neo Metal Sonic, and it's so cool looking. And there he is on the next issue, everybody versus it's Master Overlord, because he's got the Master Emerald powering him up now. And that's our issue. What an issue. It is action-packed. I loved this one a lot. What a fun issue. How many times am I going to say issue by the time this review is done? This was a fun comic. I really enjoyed this one. This is probably in my top 3 right now, along with the Tangle comic and the introduction of Whisper. There's been a lot of good hits. This one is just really good as far as action is concerned. A lot of good dynamic shots, just fun references in there. I guess there was some progression as far as story is concerned. We get to see Dr. Tinkerer getting taken away, which will probably eventually lead to Dr. Eggman coming back into form, like getting his memories and all that back and then taking over. Honestly, the way Metal Sonic is running things right now, he's kind of this chaotic force that needs to be stopped. But I'm kind of worried, because if Tinkerer becomes Eggman again. Eggman regains his memories. With this version of Metal Sonic, as powerful and deadly as he is, and he seems to be very loyal to Eggman's cause this time around. Eggman seems to have ironed out that little bug that made him disobedient and made him act out against him. That being under Eggman's control is a bad thing, and that could lead to some very, very problematic story arcs later. So with Eggman getting captured again, and he's probably going to come into play later, this is not going to end well for our heroes. I'm curious to how they're going to be able to stop the Master Metal Overlord. God, that's a mouthful. How they're going to go about this is going to be a tough fight, but I'm very confident our heroes can do it. With Shadow, Sonic, Knuckles, the Chaotix, Whisper, Tangle, I guess Blaze, but she's kind of out of power right now, and all of them there. It's going to be a fight for Angel Island. It's going to be a fight for the world as we know it. Will there be some surprise entries? Who knows? Time will tell. That was issue number 10 of the IDW Sonic comic. I can't think of anything I really didn't care for. I guess a lot of people were saying that, yeah, Super Neo Metal Sonic was kind of short-lived, but I disagree, and I think it was used fine. And again, the reason he kind of got knocked out of that form early was because Shadow kind of sucker punched him, kind of surprised him with one Chaos Spear in the chest, kind of caught him off guard there. I'm pretty sure if Shadow had announced his entrance, it would have gone poorly for him. And I think that's kind of why Shadow kind of went off on his own, just kind of probably bided his time, was watching from the shadows. Shadow watching from the shadow. And just watching and biding his time and waiting for the right moment to strike. He seems like that kind of guy. I do like that Rouge points out that, yeah, of course he's going to go for the strongest guy. Shadow the Hedgehog is kind of a lone wolf. But the question still remains to this day that I'm still questioning. What is his relation to Whisper? We're never going to get touched. We're never going to get that story arc if they keep separating them like this. But hey, other than that, I think this was a fine issue. I'm going to give this one a 9, just a solid 9 out of 10. This one was fun to read. I highly recommend it. If you guys can go out and find this issue, if you can go out to your local comic book store or wherever, if you can find this, do be a cool guy and support and buy this comic, because the more they sell these, hopefully the more of these will start getting. There might be, spin-off issues. Who knows what they could plan and do with the IDW comics if they sell well. But I think they're selling relatively well because no one can find the damn things. But then again, that could be because IDW Publishing hasn't been putting them out in certain stores. Enough rambling. I think that is about it for me today, guys. Let me know what you guys thought of this comic. Did you guys like it? Did you not like it? Or did you feel mad about it? Tell me any details I may have missed in this comic. Any references that you guys may have noticed that I missed that I didn't get to point out in this review. Hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe to the Werf Reactions for more videos like this one. And also ring that bell because YouTube is broken and you guys... Some people are saying they aren't getting alerts on when the next videos are out. And I would very much like you guys to see when the videos are out. Because if no one's watching them, then I'm just talking to no one. Which is a sad way to go about things. But anyway, guys, that's going to be it for me today. I'll see you on the next video, so stay tuned.